And we are live. Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Man, I miss these live sessions. Even though I've been doing it for a very long time, uh, with a huge presence on Facebook and then YouTube and then doing these classes. Not the first time I've been doing it, but I did miss, these live sessions. I really did. Amazing. So I hope everybody is doing okay. I had to go out of station. There was an emergency in the family. So just got back in the afternoon and glad that people are still conversing in different groups. Some still catching up with assignments. That's encouraging. I think my last live session here did make a lot of difference, and I'm glad I spoke about it. And now in this video and moving forward, I'm gonna have a lot of speakers come in. Starting tomorrow, you will be seeing a lot of conversation with foreigners, with people from high positions in different organizations as well as in businesses, and it's going to be interesting. But in this video, just for a 20 odd minutes, I wanted to catch up with you guys and make sure that the learning process is still growing high and you have not, just left it halfway. Because if you do, I think that would be the saddest part. You've come this far. I think the only advice here is to keep moving forward and keep progressing. So actually, aunt family is fine. Aunt passed away day before yesterday, but Chachu is still struggling with his health, even though he's now negative. But that's all. That's how it is. I mean, that's what life is. Okay, so I want to talk about financial advice here because most of you would be needing this, and I'm glad whoever is watching this live stream take some notes because even if I'm around and if I am not around, this particular advice is going to help you in a long way. So starting with, if you can note these points down, uh, you would see some interesting things here. So we had these different trainings, 6 different trainings, Monday to Saturday, and the idea was to have you go through all these trainings and realize the importance of each domain, each niche. I hope by now many of you would have identified their passion because the best financial advice starts with identifying your passion. So, the number one thing, call it my rule for success, or maybe call it a recipe for financial freedom. If you note this down and if you understand all this clearly, it is going to help you enormously in the future, inshallah. So, the first step to financial freedom or a financial success is actually finding your passion. You've had different trainings starting from freelancing and you know getting all the way down to the wire where we talked about digital products. So I'm sure in between there's digital marketing, there's blogging, and whatsoever it is. I'm sure by now you realize what is that particular skill set that excites you. And I'll be happy if most of you have actually taken steps in not only identifying their passion but also implementing it, because remember the 3 E's that starts with exploring, experimenting, and evolving. So exploring points out to the cutting edge philosophy of implementing whatever you are passionate about. So if you are one of those who are able to identify their passion, I think 25% of the hassle is taken out, and what you are left with is the 75% of the struggle. Now, if anyone out there is still in doubt, confused, and clueless about their passion, my advice to you is pick three skill sets out of six that have trained you in. Pick three skill sets. Over a period of time, you'll feel like eliminating two from your work plate, and what's left in there is the passion, is the skill set you should pursue your career in. So after identifying your passion, the second thing is exploring. Now I'm going to mix explore and experiment in the part two of this financial freedom advice. And exploring means not only you should be hands down and start learning on your skill set, but you should also try implementing it, because practice makes one perfect. You are only going to outsmart your competitors if you've got a competitive edge in your writing, in your freelancing, digital marketing, YouTube. So that competitive edge comes with time. It doesn't happen overnight. But my advice to you is start exploring, start experimenting. Or, when you start doing it gradually, little by little, one travels far. With experiment, with practice, you'll gradually become an authority in all this, right? So that's my second advice to you, and it's about uh, putting your hands down. I want you to write it down, really, because that's something coming right from the bottom of my heart. I don't know. Uh, when I was driving in the afternoon, I thought that would be the my agenda for tonight's live stream. I wanted to do it regardless of how tired I am, but this advice was given to me by my mentor in 2015. And ever since, every single day, I'm living by these rules for financial freedom. Uh, Learning a skill, practicing an art, that's just one side of the story. But if you know how to uh, fearlessly move yourself forward in whatsoever walk of life you choose, and then not stopping, knowing that there are bad days, there's been a downslide to your journey, but if you do not stop, this is where the whole magic begins to come to you. Nothing happens overnight. Rome was not built overnight. So my advice, the second advice is, after first one being identify your passion, and second is exploring and experimenting, because that's what you will uh, you know begin to gain a competitive edge over your competitor, because you will have a good skill set that's accompanied by a good experience. Once you start experimenting and exploring something every single day, months ahead, in a few months time, you'll find out that you're actually becoming an authority in it. So that's something you need to learn. Now, the fourth thing after the competitive edge, once you do a lot of experimenting and exploring, is invest in yourself. I wish somebody gave me this advice when I started in 1999. I would have been Bill Gates of Pakistan. I, I can guarantee you this. The way I was progressing, uh, you know, um, uh, and I'm glad that I got this advice before I actually went down the drain, uh, before I could go down the drain. Thanks heaven for saving me going that route, because that was ultimate disaster. But that one advice changed my life, and that's invest in yourself. Read, read, read. More you read, better you are exposing yourself to the new possibilities. And those possibilities predominantly mean opportunities. I've never seen a guy in my life who has invested in himself or herself and then repent this decision. This is because now, hey, Asma, I actually got to know about your PhD. Even though we have had a couple of conversations, I didn't know that you are actually a PhD doctor. So um, we got a PhD doctor in a classroom as well. Everybody stand up, including me. But I'm too tired. Invest in yourself, my friends. And investing does not mean learning and then improvising the skill set you have. But the if there's one advice I could give you, that actually pivots around learning and getting a fair bit of knowledge about different fields. This is why uh, I, trained you about six different skill sets, because over a period of time, in one way or another, sooner or later, you'll find out that whatever you have learned is coming in very handy, and it's helping you out in one capacity or another. So invest in yourself, start learning about different things. That's how you grow in life. Because let's take my example for a second. If I had only sticked around my comfort zone of freelancing, and I was a undisputed champion of my niche, right? With this downslide every freelancer faced, I would have I would have faced a lot of problem in my professional life, because I did not know anything else. So I'm glad I invested in myself. I'm glad to begin with somebody advised me to do it, and then I took that advice and I invested in myself, and I started doing social media marketing. I created a blog, beingguru.com. I created a YouTube channel, True Precisely. One is the main channel, and this one. Uh, and I'll let me be very honest about this. Uh, I love this channel far more than my main channel. I don't know why. Maybe because God has made me spread a lot of knowledge using this platform than the main one. Because I can safely say that I have educated hundreds of thousands of uh, beginners, and I've actually given them a fair bit of knowledge about different skill set. Um, Assumingly, they did not know anything about these skill sets. So glad that my live sessions have come to a positive use here for many beginners. And then, of course, uh, once they leave the nest, they'll be on their own. Some would become very successful. Some would still struggle. Struggling is not a bad thing. And some might just have a fair bit of idea, still falling short of the idea, but still, hanging in there. So the advice is invest in yourself. That's the fourth advice if I would give you. Like me, if you're not intelligent, and let me show you, I'm not intelligent at all. I might just be marketing point of view uh, over smart, but that's the only strength I had. Uh, Even in the later half of my educational career, when I was doing my MBA, a lot of teachers used to praise my communication skill, my marketing skills, because I would I would look at the bigger picture, and that's what has made me sail through all those hard times. Many of my competitors, they just faded away, jumped out of boat, and they jumped out of the boat fearing that there's no future in freelancing or an internet business. Whereas I just sort of like took every problem as an opportunity because I knew that if you are one of the oldest survivors in your respective field, uh, I think there comes a point where you are being taken as an authority in your field. Now, of course, when I talk about freelancing or any other instructor talks about freelancing, they say, okay, I've been doing it for 5 years. And then in comes Isham. Side pona beta. I've been doing this for more than 2 decades. So nobody knows it better than I do. As my mentor used to say often, uh, that count me as a double PhD in this field of expertise. Even though I do not have any single PhD, but count me as a double doctorate degree holder because I've been doing it far longer than anybody I know of. So invest in yourself. And when I say invest in yourself, how about hanging around your best spots? Now that's very interesting because if you by any chance know Warren Buffett, one of the top three richest people on planet Earth, he's a profound investor, from US, from Buckley uh, group of investors. And while addressing to the students, he gave a amazing advice, and that somehow got stuck in my mind. And that advice was, do not leave your uh, spots. And when he says do not leave your spots, it means that if you are good at something, try to develop and in cash more opportunities related to your spot, related to your niche, related to your skill set. As Adya says, be a cheetah in your field. So if you're good at something, boy, you'll be the stupid person on planet Earth if you do not dwell well, dig in deep, and encash all the opportunities lying idle in that particular niche, because you are passionate about that skill set, because you have a fair bit of knowledge about that skill set, and most importantly, I think if you invest your time in that particular skill or in a niche, there's a chance that you might just excel better in investing your time, while investing your time in that skill set, rather than uh, falling all around the place. Now, after investing in your skill set and hanging around your uh, perfect spots, the advice here is plan for a day in advance. Plan for a day in advance. I just came in and I started writing diary. I just came in and I started writing diary. My timeline for a day is scheduled way ahead of time, sometimes 24 hours in advance, because that's how I want to, plan my day. So if I want to do something tomorrow, for the last few years, I've been making plans and making a schedule about all my activities for tomorrow. This has helped me in staying true to my clock, respecting my time as well as others, and most importantly, making the most of my day. When you make the most out of your day, it means that you get the most done in a day. The problem between a loser and a winner is a loser still keeps consuming and thinking about activities, while a winner actually ends up doing those things. Being a daydreamer is not a bad thing. I've been a daydreamer all my life. But the silver lining or a striking difference between Hisham of today and Hisham of yesterday, I'm not comparing myself with any of my competitor, but let's just compare two, uh, you know, uh, s- similar personalities in two different eras, a Hisham of today and a Hisham of yesterday. I didn't respect time yesterday, but today the most important thing on my clock is actually my schedule. And I make sure that I stay put on my schedule. I respect my time, because you can take everything from me. You can take this nice black T-shirt. You can take these, the shades, and you can take my social media fame. You can take my wisdom, but if you've taken my time, you have taken me. This is what time is so important. Respect your time. Respect your schedule. Plan for your days in advance. Sometimes I actually uh, pre-write all my schedule for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I do it over the weekends. And I plan the days in advance. Like Monday, I'm going to do this. Monday, I'm going to meet him or her for. Monday, I'm going to create this video. Tuesday, I'm going to create this video. Tuesday, I'm going to teach this. Wednesday, I'm going to, talk to this client, and that's how you do it. Plan your days in advance. You have just hit the gold mine, folks. All these advices, starting from finding your passion, then second being exploring and then experimenting, third being, you know, make sure that you invest in yourself, then stay ahead of the curve, stay ahead of the competition by, you know, make sure that whatever you have learned, you start consuming it, and planning your days in advance. It's all about out racing your competitor, folks. And the only way you can outrace your competitor is by building up the pace. I'm going to get to the pace at the 6 point, of course, but by building up your pace. Everybody has a different pace. I have a different pace of working. You have a different pace of working. So when you schedule your day in advance, my advice to you is move at your own pace. A lot of the problems people come across is they sort of like uh, imitate uh, other people, and they want to match their pace, only to find out that they end up being on a losing side. Everybody is different, everybody is unique. But then it also means you're different, you're unique. Move forward at your own pace. Some of you would become level 1 seller on Fiverr in the next few months. Some of you would have a great YouTube channel. Some of you would have a great blog. Some of you would be acing at digital marketing, perhaps having great digital products. But the silver lining, again, I keep on emphasizing on this word silver lining. Not all of you can do it. But that does not mean that you cannot do any of these, you cannot touch any of these skill sets. If you ask me to do Amazon FBA, I'm going to fail at it because that's not my forte. That's not my strength. That's not what I'm passionate about. So I realized my passion and then I matched my pace in pursuing my goals. If somebody takes 2 days in getting a $1,000 project done, well done. I'm happy for you. But I can't do it in 2 days. I might just struggle in completing it inside 4 days. That's not my pace. I'm going to do it at my own pace, and I'm going to ensure that regardless of that competition that catches the corner of my eye, I'm still going to focus on my quality. I'm still going to focus on my deliverables, milestones, and at the end of the day, I'm going to keep my client happy. But the most important thing you need to understand is you need to know your pace and you need to convey your pace in a form of communication. 200 miles for one vehicle inside, let's say, 2 hours might just not be a possibility for another vehicle. Another vehicle might just do it in 2.5 hours. That's 30 minutes more than the competitor. But who cares? Life is not a race. Professional life is definitely not a race. If you move forward at your own pace, stop worrying about the pressure, stop worrying about the naysayers. Yeah, I tell you, this is the best advice one could give you. So if you take a pressure of that competition, if you take a pressure of somebody moving forward at a very rapid pace, that's going to bog you down, my friend. That's going to pull you down to the point where you will eventually end up abandoning everything, quitting, to say the least. You are unique. You are different. Your pace varies from your competitor. Stop falling prey to the rat race of competition. Take this as a quote. Stop falling prey to the rat race of the competition. I want to see this in social media. Somebody write it down, please. What a great piece of advice. So much for a 4.5 hours of driving and still coming up with something like this. Explains the very first point. Be passionate about what you do. I love doing this. So, therefore, regardless of the time I've gone through in the last 4 days, I'm still trying to deliver my optimum best output because I love doing this. Which takes me to the very next point. Love your work. यार जो आशिक होता है ना, उसके पाने की जुस्तजू और लगन एक मोहब्बत करने वाले से बहुत ज्यादा होती है. ये उसको पता होता जिसने इश्क किया हो. अब इसका मजा भी उर्दू में ही आना था. Love your work. And the scale of loving from 1 to 10 unfortunately does not even fall in the scale because you sleep thinking about your work and you wake up thinking about your work. I've had different phases in my life. It all started with freelancing, of course. So I would stay glued to my Blackberry, and I would, just try to look for my emails, and then, look at my phone in excitement if I've got a new email on glue.com. Then the next, every morning, I would wake up with looking at my email. Then after freelancing, it was digital products. Every single morning, I would wake up seeing the stats of overnight sales, and I would jump off my bed with you know a smirk on my face, uh, in a very happy mood, if the last night was exceptionally good in terms of doing sales and good sales. Then came the blogging career, of course, Google AdSense, of course, viewers. Then came the YouTube, and nowadays I sleep on watching the subscribers and views on my videos, uh, and I compare it with the views I had overnight, uh, with what I have in the morning. So, if you do not love your work, काम से इश्क नहीं है ना, काम से चाह नहीं है ना, तो कामयाबी का सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता. मैं ये वर्ड क्यों यूज कर रहा हूँ, इश्क और चाह का? मे साउंड लिटिल बुकिश, बट इसकी एक वजह है यार. कभी प्यार किया? चाहे लड़का हो चाहे लड़की हो, ज्यादा चूचा बनने की जरूरत नहीं है. कभी प्यार किया? या जिससे प्यार होता है उसको आप तकलीफ पहुंचा सकते हो, उसको आप दर्द दे सकते हो. तो इसी तरीके से जब आपको आपके काम से प्यार होता है, you do whatever you can in your capacity to take good care of your work. Have you seen those fanatics who are so fanatically in love with their cars? A single scratch spoils their day. I'm one of those. A single scratch on my car spoils my day. Puts me off to the point where I don't feel like talking to anybody because I love my car. Same goes for my, close ones. Same goes for my work. When I had this Upwork strike, I felt like, flying all the way to Los Angeles and कान के नीचे सालों के दो लगाऊं. I mean, for God's sake, I'm helping you out with a lot of new freelancers, giving you a lot of new leads, and here I am, literally being pushed against the wall. But that's life. I mean, of course, I've learned my lesson. But when you love something, you take good care of it, and that is what the formula of success is. करके तो देखो, काम के साथ मोहब्बत करके देखो. You know what the passion is? So there's an old story about Michelangelo. Michelangelo used to take the characters from Bible. Sometimes it was Adam, sometimes it was David, Adam being Adam, David being Daud, and he would create sculptures. He would spend his days and nights creating those sculptures so close to reality that when he ended up creating them and putting the final touches to those sculptures, he would begin to converse with his sculptures. And then when he would not get a response back, Michael would get angry, and in anguish, he would chop their head off. He used to shout out loud that I have created you to so much perfection, so perfectly. Why don't you reply back? That is the love with your work. That is what the passion can do to you. That is how you fall in love with your work. That you get so involved in the in the procedure, in your work, in the outputs and inputs, in the systems and the procedures, that you feel like uh, you've literally created a near to a perfect thing. And then when Michelangelo would get back home, he would take his shoes off, take his socks off. Sometimes his skin of the foot would peel off. And the reason why it happens is because when you are passionate about something, you forget about eating, drinking, sleeping. You forget about days and nights. You forget about uh, time, because you are so overwhelmingly involved with your work that you are actually exempting yourself from the limitation of time and space. And if somebody, uh, gets freed from the restrictions of time and space, it means you have become weightless. That's what involvement can do to you. You forget about everything else. The only thing you focus on is your work. Love your work. If you're a freelancer, become so best in your skill set that you outshine your competitor. If you are a digital marketer, if you are a social media marketer, create best results for your clients so that they keep coming back at you. If you're a blogger, write with a passion by keeping your reader in mind so that they keep coming back to your blog, and they read more about what you write. Success is the key factor, and money is a byproduct of success. So, one last advice I would like to give you here is don't chase the money. Because if you start chasing the money, there's a good chance you will overlook the success factor. And that is what deviates you from your roadmap to achieve your goals and objectives. Don't let money deviate you from your path to success. Because if you become successful, money will automatically follow. Money is a byproduct of success. Always remember this. Have you ever seen an individual who's a successful in their chores, work, profession, whatever they do, and then still not having money? Money comes in once you become successful, once you outshine your competitor, once you start falling in love with what you do, and that would automatically result in a great output, and that great output fetches in the money. So always focus on becoming successful in your work. Do not chase the money. And one last thing, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here about different financial freedom advisors. Copy your mentor. Success is copy paste, folks. Success is copy paste. Do not reinvent the wheel. If you see somebody who's successful, actually, there's one more to follow after this, and that is also very important. And then I would ask, somebody to write it down. If you see somebody who's successful in their respective field set, try to see what has made them successful. Copy your mentor paste it in your lifestyle, because this way you are following the footprints of your mentor and you become a good mentee. Instead of experimenting everything on your own, hitting stumbling blocks in your path to success, on your journey to achieve your goals, you're going to fall a lot. So, why not take a recipe from the book of a successful mentor, follow their footprints, and get to your uh, mission a lot faster, scratch less, without hurting your objective. An objective is, of course, to reach your goals, right? And now to the last advice, folks, and I promise this is last. Somebody said, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." It stands true. 2021, just around the corner. Absolutely effing true. Change your friends if they do not talk about business, wealth, and opportunities. Your friends should be the one who should lift you higher, support you in a time of difficulty, and they should encourage you to be a better version of yourself. Choose your friends wisely. Choose your friends wisely. And I'm going to do it for the third and the last time. Choose your friends wisely. So, can we recap whatever we have discussed for this financial advice? Can you guys, Acha Prajwal, thank you. Can you guys write it down in the comment section so that if you missed something, I will correct it, and we'll have a great financial uh, advice for everybody who will watch this video later. So it starts with finding your passion. The second being, start exploring, start experimenting. Third being, in order, of course, who cares about the order? Hang around to your spots. And then there is invest in yourself, which of course means, learning new things so that you can outshine your competitor. Then there's match your own pace. Don't fall prey to a rat race. Then there is plan for a day in advance. I hope somebody is writing it down because I'm not going to repeat it. Then there is uh, copy your mentor. Then there is follow success, not money. And then there is अपने काम से इश्क, love your work. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys can write it down, in a points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, that's it. It's gonna be, and yeah, choose your friends wisely. वेरी नाइस. अच्छा उमर, मैं देख लूंगा इसको. ओके, थैंक यू उमर. आई लुक इनटू इट. अभी तो मैं वापस आऊं, देखता हूँ. बी पैशनेट, explore, experiment, love your work, follow success, don't chase money, copy your mentor, choose your friends wisely. That's it. That is it. Okay. Where are you watching this stream from? Can I have your country if you are outside Pakistan? For Pakistanis, I understand. That's fine. For people outside Pakistan, let me know your country, please. Let's see how many people are watching this broadcast outside Pakistan. थका दिया यार. हाइब्रिड मोबाइल ऐप डेवलपर चाहिए किसी को. सऊदी, दुबई, इंडिया, यूएई, खूटा. हाँ, तेरी मेरी प्रेम कहानी वही सुन रहा था. सब चीजें तुझे समझ लगती है, पर काम तेरे सही नहीं है समझ. बाकी तू बड़ा होशियार है. बड़े लोग दुबई से देखते हैं. दुबई, दुबई, यूएई, दुबई, अबू धाबी, यूएई, दुबई. अच्छा ठीक है. Choose your friends wisely. I want you to write this down from 1 to 10, yeah. Uh, Finding a passion, start exploring, hang around on your own spots, invest in yourself. Kushar probably has done it correctly. Thank you, Prajawal. Kashmir. Amir Hamza, कौन से वाले कश्मीर से? लॉस एंजलिस. दुबई. अब तो कोविड के बाद ही कहीं निकलूंगा भाई. प्यार है आपसे सर बहुत. चले जी. आई लव यू टू जी. इस पे जो मैंने हाईलाइट किया है, खुशा, यू नीड टू put in match your own pace. It's there actually. It says in fifth spot, match your own pace. So can you actually rewrite it? Match your own space doesn't make any sense. It has to be match your space. Can you write it in a more effective way so that everybody can understand? Acha, Khushar, I understand because of words restriction you can't, but at least spell check. Mac should be match. Passion, exploring, hanging around your spots, investing in yourself, knowing your pace, pre-scheduling your day in advance, be a good mentee by copying your mentor, chase success, not money, love your work, and then the friends is the 10th one. So it turns out I've given 10 things here because 10th is choose your friends wisely. सर विद साकिब अजहर, विद सर नहीं अली सर, उनके लिए एक एक कमरा बहुत होगा. हम जब जाते हैं तो भर जाता है, तो थोड़ा सा जरा ख्याल रखें सर. लेट मी राइट इट डाउन. चलो जी. Finding your passion. Start exploring, experimenting. Hang around your own spots. This is wonderful advice by Warren Buffett. Invest in yourself. Great financial advice, by the way. Hang around your own spot. Do whatever you feel comfortable in doing. Don't copy somebody. or a niche that's not your cup of tea. That's not something you should spend your time on. Match your pace. Don't fall prey to competitor rat race. Success. Reschedule your day. Seventh is copy your mentor. Eighth is chase success, not money. Ninth is love your work. Tenth is choose your friends wisely. There you go, yeah. Control A, Control X. Let's see if I can put in there. Can't post to some comments, but let's see if it goes to. Yeah, it goes to YouTube, which is fine, of course. Which is fine. This is it, yeah. Yeah, I just pasted it in description. I'm gonna highlight this, and it only shows a certain part. It puts it in two spots here, in two different comments. So what I'm gonna do is, don't worry, I'm gonna create a video. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna create a video on this. Don't worry, guys. So I've written it. I'm gonna send this in an email to myself, and I'm gonna create a video discussing all this tomorrow morning, inshallah. A great financial advice, I think. At least it has worked for me, yeah. Take a screenshot. No, I've written it down. मैं screenshot लेके भी नहीं भेज सकता ना यहाँ पे. Comments पे कैसे जाएगा? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Uh, it's gonna be a Q&A day, Q&A night tomorrow. Get your questions ready. Make sure you ask me logical questions. Don't ask me basic baby questions. सर मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, ये करना चाहती हूँ, कहाँ से स्टार्ट करूँ? सर आप इस तरह करें, आप relevant से स्टार्ट करें. I mean, ask me logical questions that I even care about answering. Saudi Arabia, wajiba, mashallah. Time, I don't know. Time frame मुझे नहीं पता होता. देखते हैं हादिया. किसी वक्त आ जाऊंगा, एडवांस में पहले स्केड्यूल करता हूँ, but it should be after 10. मेरी हालत देखो इस वक्त, मैं just need to sleep. Should be after 10. Thank you, everybody. Take good care of yourselves.